Why is it saying live? Are we live on Facebook?
On Facebook, we're not.
On Facebook, we are not.
Yes.
But that's how it's supposed to
We are
work.
live.
What?
We're live. We're live.
We are live on Facebook.
Yes.
All right. Miss Ndlovu, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. I'm not sure if any of you can hear me or not, but I hope that you can. So far, I am seeing that we took so much time to get online and to get live. We are really working on that, and we're very sorry for the delay. I'm not sure. I would like to hear your comments. If you can hear me, if you can see us clearly, please add a comment and say, or put a thumbs up, and then we'll know that you are with us. So far, I am not seeing any that tells us if they can see us, but we are very sorry for going live so late than usual. Hey, technology never loved us. We are African people after all, so at the end of the day, the things that we wish to do on the internet, sometimes it can take some time because we have challenges. I am so Black and African. All we know are to send messages, and also so far I am not seeing anyone who's saying but Nomazulu, can you hear me? Hello? Nomazulu, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Because I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you at all. Can you unmute? You can. Okay, you can hear me, but I want you to unmute your mic so that I can hear you. Hello? Yeah, I still cannot hear you at all. I am not sure what the problem really is.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can. Thank you very much. I am unsure if others are able to see us or they are seeing this live. It is my first time trying StreamYard. So at the end of the day, it's quite impossible or it's very difficult to know if they can see or hear us, because I'm only seeing, okay, now I'm saying to people, if you can hear us or see us, please send a message, please write a comment and show that you can. Anyway, we are very sorry for being so late, and we are taking time from for the guest because she also has another meeting. But anyway, tonight we have the beautiful Miss Nomazulu Y Ndlovu. As you can see, she's already smiling. Welcome, Miss Nomazulu. It's a pleasure to have you tonight. Even though we started so late, I know this is going to be so informative. This is going to be so much fun because, oh my God, we've had these the last week. We've talked about men. We've talked about the definition of men, defining a man. We've talked about the struggles of men. And today we want to talk about the system of men. Oh, by the way, Miss Ndlovu, she's a lawyer. Great. You are going to hear so much from her today. And I hope that you have your pens, you have your papers, your notebook to take some notes, because you've got to know and learn your rights and utilize them very well. So now we are going to go on to our guest introducing yourself to us. Please, Miss Nomazulu, can you please introduce yourself to us briefly?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time to join us, to learn about men and women, about the systems of law, particularly as they relate to men. And I'm so excited because this is the foundation for Langa's upcoming book. Yes, and I am so looking forward to it. And the topics that we are going to be talking about today, and all the other areas of law that we are going to canvas as they relate to men, they are definitely part of what you are going to find in her book. So we are going to get some interesting insights today. I believe Langa has done an exceptional job in introducing me today. And she has given me so many accolades that I wasn't even aware of myself. But thank you so much, Langa. I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, she's an academic. I know her from high school. She's my baby sister.
Yes.
So I know that much about her. She's an academic. She's exceptional. She's amazing. But I feel like we are having a problem with our life. It seems like our guests are not able to comment.
To connect.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge. And I am not seeing where it says that we're going to be able to post this live after it's done. I hope that it does allow us to do that, because this is something that we do not want to miss. This is information that we do not want to miss. So someone is sending me a message on WhatsApp. I hope they're going to be able to tell me if they can comment. Are they able to comment or not? But hey, I want us to dive right straight to it, which is the law systems of men. I don't know why someone would call me knowing that I am alive. Someone is saying, ngicela link to your live angikuboni on Facebook. It seems like people are not seeing us. I'm only seeing 3 people are able to see us. That is going to be a problem. That is going to be a problem, because we need everyone to be able to see this. How do we do this?
Or we can share the link. Let's see if that's possible.
Copy link. Tonight's live. I paste if they can. Tonight's live. I hope they'll be able to follow this, because we need everyone to be able to see this, to be able to comment on this.
Yes.
All right. Should we continue now?
Or we can just wait for a couple of minutes.
Okay, we can wait for the couple of minutes, because I promise you, if this live is not a success tonight, I am definitely inviting you again. I am definitely inviting you again, because we need this information. We need everyone to plug in. We need people to feel this, to hear this, to not miss a single moment of this live, because I'm seeing that we have 3 comments. The Baptist saying, I'm following. Caesar saying, do you see me? And we have Tando. We have Samuel. This live is not a success. She is okay. I am seeing a few people that are on, and I'm not sure how others are going to be able to see this, but I hope that they will be able to see this live. But then, yeah, it does show that we are live. But I think we can wait a little bit. Yes. I think we can wait a little bit for people to get the hang of it, because I think we're late. So people expected it at 7 and we are late. And so maybe people thought that this live is no more longer ongoing tonight. But hey, don't be mistaken. How can we not come up? How can we not come here to give you this information that we have? Please. Don't ever be mistaken on that one. It can never happen. It can never happen. By fire, by force, we come here.
By fire,
By
by
fire,
force.
by force, I tell you, we do not miss.
So I see we're on 5 now.
Yes, that's what I am seeing. Now we are on 7, which is not the usual number, but well, we were late, so I wouldn't blame anyone for coming late, but we're here now, so that's what is most important. But while we wait for people, I want to ask you a question. How does it feel being asked about a man, because you're a woman and people these days are very much advocating about women's rights, women's equality? How does it
Mhm.
feel for you to be on this live, having to answer questions on behalf of men? Does it feel like you're betraying your own kind, or what? Does it feel comfortable?
Not at all. I would say that the interesting thing about my profession, really, it has taught me to strike a balance.
Okay.
So striking a balance means taking, or rather having, an interest in both issues relating to men and issues relating to women as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it as a great opportunity, really, to try and shed more light on some things, or rather some issues that affect men that most people generally wouldn't be aware of, especially in the legal system. So, yeah, because generally we assume that men in the legal system, they hold
Yes.
high positions and so forth. But then it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that, because there are other issues that affect men that we are going to discuss in depth as we
Mm-hmm,
continue
mm-hmm.
with the
That is
interview.
very, very, very true. I very much agree. But before we start asking those questions, I would like to encourage everyone to go to your Facebook page. Her Facebook page is Nomazulu Y Ndlovu. Please connect with her. Oh my God. If you've got any legal issues, go to her. You know, make sure you've got shaleta, you've got money, pay up,
Money.
she will do an amazing job for you. I tell you, I don't want to doubt her. I don't doubt her because I know she will represent you and she will represent you well. But make sure now
Thank
you don't
you for
commit
that.
crimes because you're thinking she's going to get you out. No, no, no. Go there because you want to defend yourself, because you know that you have done nothing wrong and you want her to stand for you and standing up for the truth. So please
Mhm.
go to her Facebook page. Do not lose her. She is Nomazulu Y Ndlovu. You'll find her on her Facebook page. Please go to her, follow her, like her content, like everything. You're just going to see her. Ask her any questions on her inbox. I'm sure she'll be able to assist you. But hey, don't just ask her wasting her time. Ask her because you want her help and you're going to go there and be able to make use of her services. Yeah. But without further ado, I think we can proceed now.
Okay.
And I have the very, very first question for you, which says, you've
Mhm.
spent your career navigating the law and justice system. When it comes to men, do you think the law is truly neutral, or does it sometimes fail to protect them?
Okay, so generally, the Constitution of Zimbabwe guarantees equality before the law and equal protection of the law.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying by all means to use layman terms, but in terms of Section 56 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, of the 2013 Constitution of Zimbabwe,
Yes.
it it allows, or rather it provides, for equality before the law and equal protection of the law, regardless of race, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of gender, regardless of age, regardless of disability. And most of the laws that have been put in place, including the Domestic Violence Act, it protects victims regardless of gender. So
Okay.
you will find that that same act protects men, it protects women, because of that provision, like in our constitution, um, that provides for equal protection of the law, or equality before the law. So there is really a difference, actually, between equality before the law and equal protection of the law. So when we are talking about equality of the law, we are saying that everyone is treated equally, regardless of gender, regardless of race, regardless of age, regardless of disability. Whereas in contrast, when we talk about equal protection of the law,
Yes.
it focuses mostly on ensuring that individuals in similar circumstances receive the same legal protection. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of acknowledges that there is a difference between people or amongst people. I'll give you, for an example, the death penalty, which has been abolished. It could not be imposed on women, but it could be imposed on men. You see now. So
Okay.
it goes, yeah. So it goes to the root of having equal protection of the law as one of the basis of enforcement. So it recognizes that people are different, in as much as we are saying that the law is supposed to treat people equally, but then the law also acknowledges that, hey, people are in different circumstances. So if they're in different circumstances, it means the enforcement of the law needs to be different as well. So the laws themselves could be neutral, but then the enforcement could be a bit it could be a bit different. But then there are other laws that truly protect men, like I
Mm-hmm.
have highlighted the Domestic Violence Act that recognizes that a man can be a victim of domestic violence. And then you can also find laws on maintenance, the Maintenance Act. What most people don't know is that it is the responsibility of both the father of the child and the mother
Mm-hmm.
of the child to maintain the child. So in that case, you may see that probably the law has, rather, it tries to put men and women at par. In as much as the societal expectation, rather, is that the man is the provider, the man should
Mm-hmm.
maintain the house, but then legally, you will find that it is the responsibility of both parents to maintain the minor child. So yeah, I would think that it's probably neutral in that regard.
Okay, so it's neutral according to the paper, but do you think that according to practicality, is it really neutral between men and women?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it depends. I think it also goes back to to the historical setup, really, of our society and the patriarchy, because the rights that women are being awarded right now, um, women have always been marginalized. So the
Okay.
protection that they are receiving at law at this moment is in a bid to bridge the gap that has always been there between men and women.
Mm-hmm. All
So
right.
in a way, there is already a gap because um, historically, or even pre-independence, women could not do anything without the consent of men. They couldn't have bank accounts. They had no legal status. But after 1980, then that's when, things started to change. They were forbidden to do things on their own. They were
Mm-hmm.
regarded as minors. So
Yes.
I feel like, or rather, I'm of the view that whatever is being done at the moment legally, the rights that women are being awarded, they are not um, they are not being awarded to women such that men become marginalized. No, but they are bridging the gap that has always existed between men and women in the legal system.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That is a whole lot of information on its own and a whole lot of debate that we can have because I've been paying attention and seeing how we've been asking
yes.
for human rights and women rights and equality, gender equality. But the honest truth is, there is no more equality in this thing. Hey, it's another
Mm,
talk. It's another talk for another day because I have so many views on that one, which
okay.
possibly you might also come and help us on that one because I have so many questions according to what I've
Okay.
seen and what I've heard and the things that are happening. It's not no longer
Mm-hmm.
equality. We don't know. We are human beings. We don't know how to be equal. We don't know equality.
Yes.
We always lean
Mm-hmm.
on one side or the other, nothing in
Mm-hmm.
between. Thank you for that
Which is
one.
true.
Because yes, the law, it seems like it does show that the law does require or want us to have this whole equality and fairness towards man, neutrality. But hey, practicality, that's another story. But hey, moving
Yeah,
on
true.
to our next question, because I think you've
Sorry,
already
just
covered
to
the next
interrupt a
question that I
bit.
was going to ask. So I'm going to ask the question that follows after that, which says, how do legal systems handle men victim of abuse, harassment, or domestic violence? Are there gaps in protection, recognition, or support? Because I've seen that men are very much afraid. Amadoda ayesaba ukuhambe ukuthi ngiya-abuswa ngumfazi, ngirechiwe
Kakhulu.
ngumfazi, ini. Why is it so?
Yes.
If the law is really equally neutral, how is it
Mm.
that men are afraid to go and report their abuse out there for the law to stand up for themselves? So how do you think legal system handle that for for male victims?
Okay, so generally, in as much as the law provides protection or legal recourse for men that are
Mm-hmm.
victims of abuse or domestic violence, I think the challenge is the steps that men take
Mm-hmm.
towards seeking the recourse that they need. For example, a man can be a victim of abuse, but the strength to go to the police station and report to say, hey, I've been abused, or saying chaiwe,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there is this stereotype that men are strong. A man is not supposed to be a victim of abuse. In
Mm-hmm.
any way, it's supposed to be the other way around. Not that we are supporting violence or anything like that, but then generally it's difficult for men to report issues of domestic violence. So, and I've realized that even the support systems that are there, they are mostly for women. The
Okay.
support systems, yes, for abused people, for abused victims, rather, they are mostly for women. We have SASA projects that shelters victims of abuse, but then they do not accommodate men enough. And you would find that it's so difficult for men to report once they have been abused. And in circumstances where they are brave enough to report, they are faced with a lot of criticism, or they may not get the legal recourse that they need when they
Mm-hmm.
go to those police stations to report. So yeah, it's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I think it very much that is very much true. The fact that men do not want to go to the law because the first thing that happens to them when they go to the law about abuse, they are judged, they are mocked. And at the end
Yes,
of the day,
yes.
yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't serve them. They just, or again,
True.
also, is it because that back in the days, men were really not abused, but women were abused. So it became a norm
Yes.
that, yeah, women are abused, men are not abused. But it seems like things have changed now, have they not?
Could it be that they were not abused, or they were abused but they were quiet about it?
No, I think the fact that there was so much patriarchy, is it patriarchy? Whereby
Yes,
men,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, at the top, the women were so inferior to men. So I don't
And
think
now
that
women are
women really had
empowered.
the guts to abuse men. And
Yes,
now women are so empowered, they can
true.
now abuse men. So these cases are now there. So
Yes.
the world is still navigating through them, and men are also trying to navigate
Mhm.
how to accept that no, they also can be victims of abuse. Is it?
Yes, true. Yes. And I think the act of reporting abuse itself, for
Mm-hmm.
men, I think it's seen as emasculating, as because traditionally men are expected to be the ones that are exerting control.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think even in as much as they would want to report, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
victims of abuse, in as much as they would want to report, I think it's a bit emasculating, because society perceives men to be people of strength,
Mm-hmm.
control. So now when a man has to come and say, okay, look, I've been abused and I need legal recourse or I need a remedy,
Yeah.
yeah, it becomes a challenge.
Yeah, yeah, that part I very much do understand because wow, it's not something that we get to see each and every day. But I've seen a couple of cases whereby women abused a boy, sexually
Mm-hmm.
abused women. They beat up men. Women, men they cry and they go to bars and they drink. They say, "I cannot go home because my woman talks so much."
Mm-hmm.
Emotionally, she's draining. But
Mm-hmm.
when they talk about those things, they will ask, especially in Debele, "Uhlulwa ngumfazi." So
Oshula
at the end
ngumfazi,
of the
it's
day,
true. It's
yeah,
true.
it becomes very difficult for men to speak up because not only do women
Mm-hmm.
mock them, even men themselves, they mock each other when it comes to that.
Yes.
So they fail
Yes.
to open up about it. Wow.
Mm. And
Ah,
I was thinking about it as well. Like, in as much as we are saying the law has got the systems that try and protect men,
mm-hmm.
for example, when a man is abused or is a victim of domestic violence,
Yes.
they are allowed to seek a protection order or a peace order. But then the challenge now, for example, when the perpetrator is someone that you stay with, your wife, um, there is a challenge there because you can't apply for a protection order against
Okay.
someone that you reside with, because where else
Oh.
are you going to go?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's another loophole in the law there, because there is no recourse to say, um, once I have a protection order against my spouse, or rather, if a man
Mm-hmm.
has a protection order against their spouse,
Yes.
the law cannot do anything to say, you have to relocate to somewhere else when that place is your
My
yes.
spouse, or rather, you can
Yes.
the order against
Yes.
their spouse. Yes. So yeah, that was very deep. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm so disturbed because I'm seeing that our time is flying so fast, and we have so much to talk about. And yeah, it turned out to almost be a disaster today. But then we have Precious. She's saying, "Hi, beautiful ladies. Thank you, Precious, for joining. Susan Maya, thank you for joining. We have Becky Bule says, Your pictures are too small. We can't see you. Oh my gosh. I think I do
Yes.
understand what they are saying. This
Mm.
StreamYard is. And then Prosper Ngube is also saying, I'm in. Thank you so much for joining, Becky Bule. Thank you so much for joining, Prosper Ngube. Ashley Ndlovu saying, I am following. We have Eric Joey. Joe, I'm not sure who the others are, but they are not appearing here. I'm seeing three others. But hey, thank you so much for joining us as we go to the next question, which says, in your experience, how much do cultural norms influence how judges, lawyers, and enforcement treat men versus women? But I think we've already touched that a little bit, have we not?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, we have.
Would you
We
like to
have.
expand on that?
I think judicial officers, or rather judges, um, they are officers of the court.
Mm-hmm.
So they are people who are expected to be impartial. They are people who are expected to 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 take matters, or rather to adjudicate matters
Mm-hmm.
on a very impartial basis.
Yeah.
So, but then I think what the legal system has done is that it has incorporated all those um, cultural norms, or rather cultural differences,
Mm-hmm.
and promulgated them, the ones that are relevant, of course. And the law has made provisions for those. So I think, in as much as they may use their discretion in applying the law, but then they are also guided by the provision of equality and equal protection of the law.
Yeah.
Their powers are strictly limited to the provisions of the law, what they can do, to what extent can they exercise their discretion,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. So yeah, in as much as there are cultural norms and all these perceptions, their adjudication of matters is solely based on the parameters of the law. So yeah, I think that's basically it.
I think somehow when we've been talking about this, since we've been talking about men and we've been talking about the struggles of men, their identity and all this stuff, I would say being a man is very difficult. But hey, I cannot compare it with being a woman because we haven't discussed about what it is to be a woman, which we will in the later time. But for now, we are solely focusing on men. And we
On
want
men.
to give this next question, which is looking at child custody, divorce, or inheritance laws worldwide,
Mhm.
are there patterns that disadvantage men? Why do you think that is? If yes, because as far as I'm concerned, I think there's this man. What is it, the man who acted on Pirates of the Caribbean when he finally won his
Johnny
case in
Depp.
court? You
Yes.
know how much people celebrated. The men celebrate. Finally, a man has won, which shows that women have been
Yeah.
winning in these matters. And why? Yeah, please tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so my thinking is that when it comes to particularly issues of custody and guardianship in family law,
Yeah.
I think the law tends to lean mostly on women. I can give you, for example, in custody issues where a child is sired out of wedlock,
Yeah.
the it is presumed that the mother of the child is the legal custodian and guardian.
Okay.
Legally, yes. When a child is sired out of wedlock, the mother is presumed to be the legal guardian and custodian. And she has the right to make any decision whatsoever concerning the minor child, um, as the legal guardian and custodian.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas it's not the same for men, and I think that's
I wonder if men
a
knew this.
disadvantage.
I
Yes.
wonder if they knew this.
So I think it's a disadvantage because the provision tends to favor men more than it tends to favor women rather more than men, because
Mm-hmm.
I think to some extent it's also based on the traditional stereotype that a woman is the caregiver, and should be the custodian of the minor child. But then what the courts do really is that they consider the best interest of the minor child,
Yes.
but without the father having to challenge that, to say no, um, I want custody of the minor child, even if legally, well, the law says as long as I sired this child out of wedlock, the legal custodian is the mother of the child. They can contest that in court, but then I think the law tends to favor men mostly. But then what I like, especially on issues of inheritance, is that
Mm-hmm.
women had been marginalized for the longest time. Women were not allowed to inherit. It was only the male child that was allowed to inherit. And you could find situations where probably a husband dies, leaving the wife behind and children, but the wife could not inherit. Um,
Wow.
Yes, the wife could not inherit. The eldest child, or the eldest son rather, was the one who could inherit, and the daughters as well could not inherit anything. But the law has changed. The law has reformed. So it goes back to what we were talking about initially, to say, in as much as we are saying the law does not protect men enough, but we are also taking into consideration that women have been marginalized for the longest
Mm-hmm.
time. So the
Mm-hmm.
rights that they are being awarded with, or rather the legal protection that they are getting now, is an attempt to bridge that gap that has always been in existence.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well,
I
at the end
think
of the day, I guess that is why men are getting away with murder. Because with that, if there is out of wedlock, it does not mean that the child is not there, is not made. They would still go
yes.
away, run away, and leave the woman. Yes, you have the custody of the child, but they'll still come back and be like, "I am the man. I am the
I'm
father
the
of the
man.
child. My
I'm the
child."
father of the child.
Which
But
is
then
not
I
fair
feel
at the
like
end of the day. Yes,
defending.
man, we are standing up for you, but please, can you be fair also on this part? It's very much important.
It
Yeah,
is.
and we have now also Dakota Julius. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Samgele. Samu, thank you for joining. Samson Madisha, Tunzi the poem. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm not seeing a lot of comments about tonight. I think, yeah, possibly it's a little bit confusing. Oh, it's a lot to take in because when
On
it
the
comes
link.
to the law, trust me, a lot of us don't know anything. That is why
Mhm.
people come into our lives and they just do as they please and they rope us and they do all the stuff because we are not knowledge about the law.
Yes.
And it is very important for us to know the basics and the most important parts of the law so that we can know how to defend ourselves better and we can know how to not break the law. Because the law
Mm-hmm.
will not say, "Oh, you didn't know. Okay, fine. We set you free." The law is the
Yes.
law. Yes.
Yes.
And
And
I'm seeing that we only
unfortunately,
have 7 minutes left. Oh my gosh, please. We need to have another life because this is just not fair.
definitely,
And the only thing that
definitely.
I only saw now how I can make us look bigger, not as small as people were saying we are. Ah, okay. Experience is the best teacher.
Yes, true.
So, they say, are there legal reforms or movement that you think could help create a more balanced justice system for men?
I think um, there is a need to create support structures. My issue really is on men who are victims of domestic violence who don't
Okay.
get the legal recourse that they need, you
Mm-hmm.
know. In as much as the law provides for that, I think there is so much that still needs to be done in terms of support,
Mm-hmm.
and in terms of conscientizing the public on that those issues are real, you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. They are.
And even people that hold those high offices where those issues are dealt with, I
Mm-hmm.
think there's still more that needs to be done in educating them on the reality of those issues, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the change in policies. Yeah, I think there's still a lot that needs to be done on that.
Absolutely. I feel
Yeah.
like men really do need to have the voices that we're trying to give them because it is not healthy. Because unhealthy men, emotionally, psychologically, in every way,
Hmm.
and men who are so afraid of it, they become toxic. So
Yeah,
afraid, oh,
exactly.
she's going to take half of my property when we get divorced. Oh, she's going to take out my kid. Oh, if I got it. Oh, if she like, because they are so afraid. They are so afraid
Yeah,
now that they
yeah.
are
But
becoming
then,
toxic to us. You know,
yeah.
when people are not in safe spaces, they really, really get to do things that are despicable because they themselves
Mhm.
are quite afraid to express themselves and they tread carefully, walking like they're walking on ice, on thin ice, which is not
Mhm.
healthy for anybody. So
True,
yeah,
true.
I think it's very important that these movements they create balanced justice systems for men
Yes,
too. So
true.
I want to ask the question that says if what advice would you give to men today about knowing their legal rights and advocating for themselves?
Um, I think that the first step
Mhm.
would be to for them to conscientize themselves and get to know the rights that they have at law, you know, and they have to be aware of how they are protected in the areas where they are
Yes,
kept,
yes.
because when you're marginalized, no one can do it for you because you're the one who gets to experience all the disadvantages of being on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So I think um, awareness needs to be more, and men need to be taught, or rather to know their rights. They have to know where they are not protected at law and advocate for those rights, the same way that we
Mhm.
have done as women, or the women before us did for us, rather.
Yes, we
You
have
know,
female lawyers standing up for women, and where are the
yeah,
male lawyers standing up for men?
yeah,
They've also
yeah,
silenced and leaned on the women's side because that is the popular side. But should we be
yeah,
going with the popular side, or should we be going with the what is right for
yeah.
each and every one of us, children, adults, women, men? We all
Mm,
deserve to be heard and to be stood up
true,
for.
true, true,
Yeah,
true.
that is
So,
very
yeah.
powerful. Thank you so much. Mm-hmm. And if I were to ask the final question, because I'm seeing that I have 3 minutes left, I don't want to take too much of your time.
Okay.
Until next time, you don't want to come back here, and I'm seeing that your screen has gone dark.
Oh, my screen has gone dark.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me. Oh, okay. There it's back
Yeah.
again.
Now I see you.
Mm.
Okay. So the final question is: as a female lawyer, what role do women play in making justice system more fair, not just for women but for men too? What role as women do we play
Sorry,
for
can
the
you
sake
kindly
of
come
men?
again on that question?
Okay, as a female lawyer,
Yes.
what role do women play in making justice systems more fair, not just for women, but for men too?
Okay. So I think the participation of women, the participation
Mm-hmm.
of female lawyers in those sectors, um, they they more they more like guarantee fairness to some extent, in
Okay.
the sense of equal representation, that these fields are not being entirely dominated by men but women as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that women tend to have that approachable space, even particularly female lawyers. For some
Okay.
reason, I think I have more male clients than female clients. So I think it kind of helps when more women are in that space, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes there are issues that men cannot talk to men about, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but they can talk to women about those issues, and they can give them a perspective that is balanced.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think
Okay.
it kind of
Okay. So,
strikes
like,
a balance
women
there
can understand men better than men can understand men better.
to some extent.
Okay. All
To some
right.
extent.
That
To some
makes a lot of
extent.
sense. We've got some comments that I would like to read for you from Prosper Ncube that says most men suffer from emotional and psychological abuse. This includes insult,
Mm,
humiliation, threats, control, manipulation, or isolation from friends and family age. And that is very true.
true. Yeah, yeah,
Extremely true.
yeah.
And the worst part about men is that people always say you find yourself. He's a man. Uzoba strong. But you forget that men have got emotions, exactly as we were talking about it in the past interviews. Men have emotional sensitivity as well, and we
Yeah.
forget that
Mm,
until they themselves forget that because no one is paying attention to their emotions. That
true.
is why even when they go to court, when they keep on being outruled, women always winning the cases. They end up thinking, what is the point? What is the point? Let me just sit down and not do anything about it. And then we also
I
have
think,
Precious Ayenda
yeah.
who says,
Hmm.
hey, it's legal stuff we are learning, no input whatsoever. Well, she doesn't have an input. And then we have Samgele Sam who says they do suffer a lot. Daddy, I think men worry that they will be accused of being perpetrators themselves. Very true. Very, very, very true. Because at the end of the day, I'm just surprised. I'm watching on my phone here, it shows subtitles. And
No.
another one is showing subtitles. Our interview is showing subtitles. I didn't know that it
Oh,
was showing.
okay.
But it's so true. What do you have to say about those three comments that have been said? Well, by the three viewers.
Well, I'll start from the one where Samgele was saying, I think men worry that they will be accused of being perpetrators themselves. I think
Mm-hmm.
it goes down to legal representation, because when um, when you're faced with a scenario, um, it all goes down to getting adequate legal representation,
Okay.
because someone may say that men are afraid to approach the courts because they will not win cases and whatnot, but then it goes down to legal representation. If you are able to get a legal representative that is going to hear you out, that is going to
Mm-hmm.
know what exactly
And hey,
is
man,
going
please go
on.
to her. She will hear you out, okay?
That is going to assist you in that regard. So I
Yeah.
think it goes a long way. It really goes a long way.
Mm-hmm. And we had another one from Prosper who said most men suffer from emotional and psychological abuse. This includes insults, humiliation, threats, control, manipulation, or isolation from friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to
Which
say about
is which is true. Which is true. Well, the fact that women suffer the same as well does not necessarily invalidate the fact that men actually go through the same things.
that? Mm-hmm.
But then, as we discussed earlier on, that men go through those things, but then it's so difficult for them to come out,
Mm.
and to seek a legal recourse,
And then
especially
we take
when they,
advantage.
yeah,
And then we take advantage of it.
especially where they are victims of abuse. It's so
Forget that
difficult.
these are our friends, these are our brothers, our cousins, our uncles, our fathers.
Yes.
Imagine, like, we have to imagine as women, if someone was treating your son the way you are treating someone else's son.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
But when it's
yeah.
not, then we tend to pull that out from the equation, which is not fair, which is not
True.
right. We need to be very much aware of what is happening around us, around our people, and but this was very informative, and I feel like it was too short because I had to skip
Yes.
some of the questions to try and catch time. And I'm seeing that I've already taken 4 minutes of your time already. But
Mm.
hey, you are looking all pretty and beautiful, and your confidence, it was bringing
Thank you,
out all
Langa.
the answers, and I love it. And I love it. I hope that people have been coming to your page. Please go like and follow her. That is Nomazulu Y Ndlovu. Please, she is an amazing person. Ooh, but she is
Thank
written
you.
Nomazulu Y Ndlovu on her page. Go to her. She has spoken for men today, and I expect her. When you go to her, she's going to represent you well because I
Oh my
I
goodness.
like to believe that she understands something about men, and I think she has also watched the previous um interviews that give her also more insights if she was not aware of some of the things that men are going through, because men
Yeah.
also deserve that love, that ear, that,
True.
yes, they really
Mm,
do deserve that too, because they are just as human as we are. Let us not be selfish as
true.
women to just take everything and leave men aside, because at the end of the day, if these men are toxic, they are going to be our husbands, they are
Yeah,
going to be
true.
our brothers-in-law. They are going to be our children's uncles. And we're going to be the
Yeah.
ones to pay the price. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to make sure that we try and change that. There is no one else who can change the society's perspective besides us
True.
individually. When one person changes the perspective, then another person, when we all come collectively, as they say, if you light your candle and everybody else lights their candle, then we
Mm-hmm.
have the light and brightness in the world. Oh my gosh, it really breaks my heart that I have to let you go, because I know that you have got other commitments. We started late.
Later,
It is my
later.
fault because we're still trying to navigate this way, but we have to keep on trying to wake up. But I really would love to have you again, because I know that we do not have cover up even half of the
Yes,
things
yes,
that I know we
definitely.
can.
We
There's
can.
so
Yeah,
much about the
true.
law, there's so much about men, and there's so much about women, there's so much about children. We're going to talk about that. But before
Yeah.
we even finish about men, I'll need to have you again. I know that we also agreed with the
Definitely.
doctor that we're also going to have this. I don't know if Ndlovu also is going to allow me to call him again, because I feel like everything was not exhausted in everything that we spoke about. But thank you so very much,
Definitely.
beautiful lady, beautiful sister, for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best in everything that you do,
Thank
and may the
you. Thank
law
you, Lana.
learn to really be neutral, not just on paper, but
Mm-hmm.
in practicality. So I will free you and allow you to leave so that you can go on to your next commitment. But hey,
Thank you.
thank you, and I'm sending my love to you for all of
Thank
that.
you so
And to
much. I had a
everything who
great
was
time.
watching tonight, we have two comments. Oh, I love the way Langa is standing for Amagents. Oh, you are most welcome, Eric Joe. We have Upegi Pule saying, we wish even our children to realize the wrongs of their mothers. Oh, that is very true, because mothers can also be wrong in
True.
many cases too. And hey,
Mm-hmm.
we have to look at that and be balanced in it, because these things, we have to open our eye to it. And hey, these comments keep on coming, and then they're taking your time. But most men are suffering silently. That's the reason why men die early than men. You see? The reason why that's from Prosper Ncube. The reason why I need you back here, we've got so much to talk about. Like so much to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about.
yeah.
And we definitely are going to talk about those things. And whoever is watching today, whoever is watching tonight, please go follow her page, like I said. And again, I would like you to know that we're going to be having her again today. We're very sorry that we had to be so short because of whatever happened. Hey, we will not even explain. Me and her know how we struggled to even come here together tonight. It was a struggle. But next time it's not going to be a struggle. We're going to work this out. But for tonight, I'll say have a good night and have a
Thank you.
blessed week. Be as beautiful. I want to say, have a beautiful week, as beautiful as your man or as beautiful as your woman. If you have an ugly one, I am so sorry. But hey, have one that is as beautiful as your own heart. Hey,
Yeah.
anyway, let us stay tuned for next week's live. We have another guest coming in. Please don't miss it. It's going to be fabulous. It's going to be very much informative. For tonight, I like to say goodbye. And I'm sure, Miss Ndlovu, you'd also like
Bye.
to say goodbye. Okay.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Yes.